Interlude II. A new ally, a new foe. The still, dim-lit sky had an air of moderate heat that surrounded King Gorm and his men as they travelled along the plain fields. Everything was quiet and calm as King Gorm broke in and out of thought of the possibilities that lay in front of him. His thoughts lingered from the cause of his summoning to the very origins of the alliance he had formed with King Frode in their early days. Their tribes had actually been inches away from doing battle had it not been for the sage's prophecy. The sage Sten was Langr's spiritual leader who invoked the gods on matters of importance. Upon returning from the hunt, where King Gorm and his men first encountered King Frode, he sought Sten for guidance and was given a prophetic utterance. "Behold, I see territories of warring powers whispering lies and truth. I see a people lost in their futile minds, begging for a thirst to be quenched with no resolve in sight. I see a sadistic hope predicated on a man who embodies sadism. I see a generation raised in the lies of false security and false superiority. I see power exercised as an illusory force for good and upheld by a foundation of broken promises. I see pride in the wicked hearts of men, emboldened by the status that comes from victorious struggle. But now, I see hope. I see beams of light bursting forth from thick and heavy clouds of darkness, penetrating individual souls and spirits. What could this mean? Sade Marthur Sten, Gorm marveled, asking the sage. It means that the one mighty and strong will set your tribe and lineage in order and preserve it from extinction after it undergoes a period of moral decay and status erosion. But this can only be if you refrain from war today. And so, years ago, King Gorm had sent his best envoy of men to draw up terms of negotiation with King Frode, which, throughout the majority of their now 27-year alliance, proved to be fruitful. King Gorm, lost in thought, didn't realize he was minutes from entering village Traust. As the sun finally set behind the red-orange landscape, allowing a grey and darkening setting to increase, one of King Gorm's men sped up his horse from behind him, moved in front, scouting any incoming threats, then, when reaching the village entrance, greeted the guards on duty. "I am here with King Gorm, who was summoned by King Frode through his herseer for a meeting. Permission to proceed and enter?" "Of course. Come right in." The warriors standing guard turned the sharp wooden barracks outward, opening up a space for the king and his envoy to enter the village. Now, with his horse at a walking pace, King Gorm made his way into the heart of the village and to the place of King Frode's dwelling. Upon reaching the entrance, he dismounted his horse. A warrior who stood guard immediately recognized his face and so took the reins of his horse and gestured for him to enter the large hall of the village, where the king, inside, sat upon his throne by himself. "Ah, Gorm, you've made it. Come, sit. There is much to discuss. I hope I haven't startled you." "Not at all, my dear Frode. Shall we drink or get straight down to matters?" "Come on now, Gorm. What kind of men would we be if we didn't share in a little merrymaking before getting down to business?" And getting up from his throne in the empty hall, King Frode walked to the center table just in front of the lit fire to pour out 2 glasses of wine. He was a man short in stature, with a big black beard and a balding head, but was quick in wit, always having a commanding presence in whichever room or setting he graced his audience. After the two talked about the latest village news of who was marrying whom and which warriors looked most promising in the upcoming hunting season, King Frode seemed to slowly get more and more nervous, punctual, and serious. All right, King Gorm, I think it best I come forward quickly with why I've summoned you tonight on such short notice, and with a summoning from my leading military warrior of all people. King Gorm's smile quickly faded, and he looked intently at Frode's peculiar expression, one he recognized in him when matters were serious, which usually involved the northern Scandinavian tribes, who, as of late, had become increasingly hostile towards their alliance. It's been nearly a decade since our last conflict with any Northmen. Tribe Arn has sent word that Tribe Agmundr plans to attack us. Tribe Arn has curried favor with them and is making a staged show of interest, but has relayed the information to me. He is inviting us to, shall we say, quell the unwarranted aggression by joining forces with our two armies to attack Agmundr. Our two armies? Blurted out King Gorm with shock and instinct. Yes, that is, if you are willing to move things forward and join us. Something inside of King Gorm, something instinctual that you only develop from seasons in a position of leadership and experience as king, told him boldly not to move forward, to instead back out and wait for the Agmundr to meet him on his own turf, or at least get more intel before making a decision. But that instinct was blinded by the thoughts of his youth he had had earlier, of wanting to again move out into his country with the same fearless and yet near reckless attitude that seemed to win him his throne years ago. His frailty flashed before his eyes, and the one thought that wholly subdued this feeling, this image in his mind, was war, even if war came at the cost of blood that was not his own. "Yeah, let's prepare for battle."